Hello friends, how are you all? Hope you are doing great at various aspects of your lives. What is the toughest thing to do? Well, everyone will come up with a different answer to the question, right? Based on one's persona and nature, his or her priorities in the life are different, and so does his or her ambitions. Based on our ambitions, we set our goals, and during the journey to achieve it, we make choices. The choices are responsible for everything we do and every experience we go through. It is often seen that the choices drag us into the least expected or unexpected consequences. So, life is all about actions and its consequences, which is no one can escape from. But why are we talking about philosophy or life? Well, we were approached by author Manoj Jain's team to inform us about his then new book, A Man from Mandu. Manoj is an intelligent author who mostly writes on thought provoking topics. We have previously read his book, Dystopia, that talks about parenting. I will put a quick link to our unbiased review for Dystopia in the description below. As we have already witnessed the work of the author, we were curious to go for this book and we wholeheartedly welcome the opportunity to read the book. Fortunately, from our team, I got a chance to read A Man from Mandu, and here are my views and reviews for the book, which are by all means, of course, uninfluenced and unbiased as always. I strongly believe in the philosophy of not judging a book by its cover. It is the content within that matters. At the same time, I recognize the influence of book covers in purchase and or reading decisions. It works as a doorway to the virtual world you are going to explore in the pages enclosed. So let us take a look at the cover page of A Man from Mandu. From the title of the book, we can expect illustrations of a village and a person on the cover page. And as you can see, the cover page shows the face of a person that is dissolved in the background of a hilly town. You can also see a few birds are flying in the sky. The illustration is quite thoughtful. The book is all about self-discovery of a person, so the upper part of the head dissolved into the nature explores the metaphor quite effectively. The cover is easy on the eyes and at the same time it is not so attractive that it will force you to pick the book at the very first glance. Overall, I can say a moderate book cover. Let us take a bird's eye view of the book plot. It all starts when two ladies plan to pay a visit to an ashram located at a few hours' distance from a metro city. Actually, both of them are good friends since years. One of them is married and settled with her husband and family in the USA, while the other lives in India. That is Bharat. The girl living in India had a fulfilling job. Yes, she had. Due to some controversies associated with her work regime, she is jobless now. Money is not a problem for her, though. The friend from USA came to offer the heirs of her firstborn to an ashram as per the newfound religious and spiritual beliefs of her with her husband. Anyway, both the friends used to meet at least once a year in most of the cases, mostly when the girl from USA come to visit India. They managed their schedule in a way that they got considerable time to spend with each other, and this visit was no different. On their way to ashram, when stopped at a tea stall for some refreshments, their car driver met with a man. The man informed them that their visit to the ashram will be fruitless as the ashram remains closed for the visitors on this weekday. To add to that, the man has shown them his ID card that tells that he is one of the guides who took visitors to that ashram. and he is free today as today is the off day for the visitors. Disheartened and disappointed for not calling the ashram office before leaving for this journey, the lady from the US was quite concerned as she had a tight schedule. Well, the same man came to their rescue. He took them to a nearby temple at the bank of a holy river and helped them in getting their rituals done. How genuine the man is! By the way, was the man speaking the truth? Well, a series of incidents from this point onwards turned into a quest which was meant for something else and turned out into completely different. And to get answers to the rising questions about the same, you need to read the book. While talking about any book, our main concern is not to give away the spoilers as they will ruin the reading experience. It is like talking about a suspense movie where you should know the brief but not the key elements. Otherwise, you won't enjoy the actual experience. We have tried to keep the spoilers at the bay in the bird's eye view of the story, and we will try doing the same when talking about them in this segment as well. However, please go ahead with the consent that some of them are unavoidable. The story revolves around three prime characters: Dhaval, Tarini, and Paulomi. Avishkar Baba is the most interesting character of the book. Various thoughts and comments by Avishkar Baba came at regular intervals in the book, which are worth taking a note of. Actually, all the chapter titles and taglines are nothing else but QOTD or quote of the day taken from the sermons of Avishkar Baba. If you want to read this book in a very fast forward manner, of course you will miss the essence and the interesting parts of the story, then these quotes of the day are the best way to go. Here is one such quote: faith can move mountains and your doubts can create them. The author puts in his deliberate efforts in making characters and growing them gradually in an effective manner. You may think that Tarini and Dhaval's intimate moments could have been edited out. However, if you see the story in its entirety and its context, you will find that it is written to effectively elaborate the shift of paradigm. Of course, it makes the book to be read by adult readers only. Anyway, the book is effective for the adult, especially mentally, and mature readers only, so it doesn't make much difference. The open-ended stories told by Avishkar Baba during his sermons are the key segments of the book. Whatever wisdom the author wanted to convey, he has conveyed it through these stories. And not only the people attending the sermons and prime characters, but even readers may also connect to those stories. And I consider it as a success of the author. I have noticed that often people skip some segments like glossary, preface, author's notes, foreword, etc. It is not a good habit. Actually, those are the segments where you often get to know about the journey of the author, from conceiving the idea of the story to getting it published, and or his or her thoughts and visions about various segments and or aspects of the story, characters, and or other important stuff. The book is missing the chapter index. There are 11 chapters in the book and each chapter moves the story forward quite effectively. The book has some lines which are missing some words or could have been written in a better manner. For example, he sat cross-legged, his shawl careless around his shoulders, and at the same time the author also represents his vast vocabulary effectively. Like, he arched his shoulder back, each muscle and sinew standing out, and he twitched once. The authors bring in some real life lessons in regular explanations also. It is not restricted to Avishkar Baba's QOTDs only. Here is an example. And Biru understood that there are always prices to be paid, that there is a cost of every action, sacrifices for every dream, for every success, and he had to pay the price. The author also explores the mindset of current generation in terms of relationships and commitment through simple lines. Yes, there is never a shortage of eager men, she said, smiling to herself, especially since I am not looking for a longer term commitment. This conversation about gurus and godmen is something a majority of readers can relate to. A guru guides you. Sometimes we are seeking answers beyond the five senses but do not know the path. If one is looking for a road direction, we look at Google Maps or ask someone for help. Similarly, in life, when we are looking for the answers, we use the Guru as a guide to help us find the destination. Some godmen have turned into conmen, but by and large, most of them are compasses, like lighthouses, showing the way through the darkness to weary ships. Moving ahead the conversation, the book has some lines like, in general, with social media today and everyone's search for a quick fix to their problems, it is very easy for a man to become a godman, especially in India where all of us are so religious, superstitious, and gullible. In the book, some effective one-liners are also there, like, it takes some time to build a brand, whether it's guru or a dishwashing liquid. Of course, I would like to quote all the QOTDs of Avishkar Baba, but have to restrict myself from doing so. I would rather quote another interesting segment from the book. So, be careful in what you choose, in what you commit, and in your relationships with your studies, your work, your parents, your lovers, and friends. Commitment and responsibility come with a freedom. Ropes are binding us all, and you have to know which ones to untie and which ones to keep. Of course, the segment come with freedom, ropes are binding us could have been written in a better manner, but central thought is full of wisdom. The book also talks about the way we have started living our lives. Rather than enjoying our food, we are quite more interested in taking its photos and publish it on social media. Rather than enjoying the natural beauty of phenomena, we would like to snap it through the lens and show it off. The author brings an important question. Shouldn't we be valuing happiness more than our portfolios? Reading this book reminded us of The Quest of the Sparrows by Karthik and Ravi Nirmal Sharma. I will put a link to that book review in the description below for your quick reference. The book had every chance to become philosophical and thus quite heavy in terms of reading. The linguistic aspects of the book are worth paying attention to. The author's logic to infuse open-ended stories in the main plot works in favor of the book. You won't ever feel that you are reading something heavy. In fact, these short stories are so linked with the main track that it will give you a feeling of reading a thriller blended with a short story collection. This reading experience, according to me, is the USP of the book. So, what is the conclusion? Well, overall, easy to read yet a little philosophical book that requires your attention. You are free to read it just as a story, or you can learn valuable lessons from the same also. In those terms, this book reminds me of the Panchatantra stories. ThinkReview's rating around 8 stars out of 10. So, have you already read the book? Are you planning to read it? What do you think about this book review? Do you find it helpful in deciding whether to go for the book or not? Please do share your genuine remarks via comments below. If you have enjoyed listening to the review, please hit the like button and do not forget to share it with your friends and other fellows whom you think such reviews interest more. Till we meet with our next podcast, bye bye, take care, namaskar.